All right, well,
Okay.
welcome to our African Safari
Yes.
today.
Well, thanks.
We're going to talk about sales promotion today, and there's two main types. One of them is consumer-oriented, and the other is trade-oriented.
Yep.
We'll touch on those a little bit later, but I just wanted to mention a couple of the other types that aren't as well-known or not as big as the other ones. One of them is consumer franchise building, and one is non-franchise building. So what do you think is the difference between those?
You know, you start looking at the consumer franchise building. You'll see it in the textbook or a lot of places just as CFB. And, you know, when you're talking about the franchise building, that's more the name and the brand and in getting the attributes out, the image, what does the product mean? And so the focus is more on the image and the brand of the product. Whereas if you look at the non-franchising building, you know, that's the immediate sales. Okay, we want you to buy it right now. Here's a sample, buy, and not necessarily concerned about the branding, even though that's part of it, but it's all about we want that immediate sale and getting it done right now. So the building part of that is it's all kind of related around the sales process part of it.
Okay.
So that's the main two parts of that. You know, so it's, you know, they both want to increase sales, but yet at the same time, one's more immediate.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, sales promotion in general, what do you think, like, what does that mean to you, and what do you think the activities include?
You know, a lot of times people with that sales name, it's kind of a negative name at times, but when we're talking about sales promotion, it's the activities that are around that item. You know, doing different aspects of getting it out. There's a bunch of different ones that we'll cover here. You know, it's that added extra incentive. Okay, you have a product that's for sale all the time, but now it's the sales promotion. It's a special one, so it could be some kind of incentive, a coupon, a drop in price, you know, some type of a contest, you know, something different, something out of the ordinary, and it's really increased in the last decade or so of sales promotion. People are always looking for the deal. They're looking for the sale, and you know, it's replacing the traditional branding, you know, of regular ads in the newspaper. It's now we're trying to be creative, and maybe it's a coupon in a newspaper or whatever. But it's changed a little bit. So right now it's, you know, 60, 70, 75% more of the sales promotion is what you see than in the typical, what you know of the traditional advertising in the media, especially the newspaper type. And so we'll talk about some of those later, the couponing and contests and all of that. But, you know, that's kind of where it is, you know. So what they're trying to do, these companies, they're really trying to get out their name. Okay, and get the new brands, and so I'm just going to give a couple different parts here. You know, when we talk about that, you know, making the promotional, the specialties, all part of that new brand. A lot of times, companies come out with new ideas, new parts of it, and so that's part of it. Another aspect of why it's increased so much is the increase in competition, and so there's more products out there that they got to compete with, and you know. So as they're competing against new products, the brand loyalty keeps going down, and so people aren't going to just go buy a certain brand because of that name. They're looking, and so that's a big part of that. And the other aspect of that is another part is the retailers. Okay, it's a whole different aspect for the retailers. There's more power in the retailers. The grocery stores, they're the ones that are looking for the deals, but they're selling your product, and so a lot of times you'll see the sales that are within a grocery store for a certain product.
Sure.
Some other things that how every dollar goes into the promotion instead of the advertising. Okay, and so we're putting all of it instead of devaluing it, the brand. You know, a lot of times it's. You know, we're just looking forward to going and putting everything forward into that promotion. A couple last ones, advertising. You know, advertising is building a brand, whereas again that sales promotion is again the sales. So in the long term, we're going to be looking at advertising. Short term, the sales promotion. And another thing that's a concern over the years is you know. People are more concerned about the price, not the quality. and it's convenience factor. So all of these that we just kind of talked about on, why is sales promotion increased, and so those are some different aspects of that. For an example, I just got a haircut. The reason I got the haircut at that place was because it was a free haircut. It was to get you in the door.
Is that why you're wearing that hat?
That's why I'm wearing the hat. It was a bad haircut. No. But it was, they want you to get in there to try it out. And then when they're in there, sign up for the email, sign up for this, ways to continue to. But that's an example of that. Other aspects of, cars and pop, are you really loyal to a brand of pop? Or, like if I walk into a convenience store, a lot of times I'll look at, is there a certain brand that's on sale or, something like that? Are they doing a 2-for-1 special on a bottle, or something along those lines? I'm not saying I have to walk in and get a Diet Coke every time. If Diet Pepsi is on sale, I'll get a Diet Pepsi. It's those types of things that, are becoming more popular with the decrease in value of the brand loyalty.
Okay.
So
now with sales promotion, I notice there is potential for abuse in sales promotion.
Yep.
If a company is using it too often, it can be devastating for their company. They'll lose a lot of money. One that comes to my mind would be the cosmetics industry.
Yep,
You see in the mall, like in Herberger's or something, all of their makeup counters have a free gift with purchase. And personally, I'll go just to get that, and I'll buy something else. And in those free gifts with purchase, there's a lot of money into that. It's a $70 value, $100 value.
Right.
Well, I'm going to use that up. I'm probably not going to buy it again just because it was so expensive. So those have become so common that they're losing money instead of gaining that brand loyalty.
Yeah,
So there's potential for abuse in that. So.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. And they want you to keep going back, but yet at the same time,
Right,
we're
because
all
of the price,
cautious
it's very
of,
price sensitive.
Yep,
So.
yep. So,
Okay.
so that's kind of thinking about the whole aspect of sales promotion in general. We'll get a little bit more in detail as we get into the further in the chapter.
Okay. Next, we're going to talk about one of the main types of sales promotion, which is consumer-oriented. So everything is, how will it benefit the consumer rather than the company trying to get that out.
Right.
But to do that, they have to have really clear-cut objectives for the company. Otherwise, it can just be a mess.
Good point.
Some of the objectives, they're really trying to obtain trial and repurchase with customers. So they may give out a free bonus pack or something to a customer, say like a bottle of soap or anything like that, and hoping that they'll come back to that. They also try to increase consumption with consumers by an established brand. Under Armour being a good example, their brand is established. They want people to keep coming back to that. They also need to defend their current customers. So people who are brand loyal to them, they want to make sure that with their sales promotion, they're making sure that they're coming back and not going to other brands. Also, they need to target a specific market, whether it be some sort of demographic or geographic area, to try to get new customers as well. How do you think a company would go about carrying out these objectives?
As I look at the company again, you mentioned it earlier in the other segment. It does cost money, okay, and so that's one of the objectives that a company needs to go in and making sure that they're online with their sales and all of that, and it's not going to be detrimental to them. But the samples and coupons, like you mentioned, the buy one get one free. So a company could reach their objectives by getting them to have another product, and a lot of times they'll say, okay, buy in bulk or whatever, a sales promotion for them to stock up, so they don't have to compete against another, a company because they already purchased it. Okay, it's a good price, and so they're already there. So that's one of the ways of defending, like your territory basically, and for future customers. More and more people are decreasing the value in brands, and so the brand loyalty has to work with, as you get into this, it works together one-on-one. And so as an objective, you need to continue to push the brand loyalty, but yet at the same time you need to implement some of these, whether it be the free trials, the samples, I think sampling is one way a company, a lot of companies go about doing a good job of reaching those objectives. They just continually, the biggest thing, we want to keep reaching, the non-users. How do we keep bringing in new people into our mix? And so that's all part of it. And, the more customers you get, the more hopefully you maintain those if you have a good product.
Okay. And I know there's quite a few techniques that companies will use towards that. One of them, you said a big one was sampling. I personally love sampling, especially food.
Yes.
So it's a great way to try to get new customers to come in. Another one would also be coupons. As college students, I think I've seen personally a big increase in even college kids using coupons, and you've seen the TV shows Extreme Couponing. It's become a big phenomenon.
Yeah, it certainly has.
Yeah. They also use contests and sweepstakes, which I'm sure we've all tried to enter something, even though we know our odds of winning aren't very good. It still kind of encourages us to try something, or a free trial or subscription of something to enter. Another one, refunds and rebates. I feel like the rebates one isn't as popular anymore because people have to wait to get that money.
Right.
So they just like to go for things that are cheaper in the beginning. Right. And then one of the other main ones would be loyalty programs. Right. They say the average household they're loyal to about 12 different programs, but then they only use 50% of them. So they really do get the customers in, but it's a matter of keeping them after signing them up for such things.
Yeah.
So out of these, do you use any of these as a family person or as a customer?
Yeah. I look at it in a couple of number of ways, both as owning a company. I'll give you kind of some examples there, and then on the personal side as well.
Okay.
With our Sports Institute, we did a lot of the free trial, the free lessons. It's kind of that sampling. Okay, ours was come in and get a workout. We'll take you through, bring a friend or whatever. And so sampling along those lines. Other things that we did, we would, on couponing, we would put on, like, it was called the Scarlet card or the East Cougar card, but it was one that was on there all the time, $50 off a package, and or $10 off an individual lesson. And it was amazing how many people have that card, but hardly anybody. We only had a few people use it, and there you go back to that point of, you say, do people really use it? And some of it was beneficial, and but people would read it, that first time and see what's on there, and and then they'll forget about it. So that's one way through the business. We did some other things for sign-ups. Sign up for a free T-shirt. We'd get their name and their email, and or sign up for a free package. We'll be giving one away in a drawing or something like that. Sometimes we would do that. The loyalty program we did with our return, we'd try to get people to come back. After you completed one, you sign up for another one, it was a 10% off.
Okay.
So from a business standpoint, those are some of the things. Personally, I know, friends and my uncle and all that work with Angie's Kettle Corn, and sampling is a big thing for them, especially opening up new markets. My uncle was just down in Texas opening up kind of a market down there, but it's all about giving out samples. They have little sample bags that they give out. They also have, just in-store sampling that they do. Couponing, my family, my wife, even the kids, we don't usually go out to eat unless we have a coupon. That's just become a big thing. One thing now you'll see, for the Lent season coming up, you'll see a lot of, fish specials.
Even McDonald's.
Or
Yep, I've seen that.
And Arby's or whatever it might be. There's a lot of those that are out there. My wife and kids, they always give me a hard time about Menards because I do the rebates at Menards a lot. I get
they pay off.
And so whether it be little things, hammers or whatever that you get free, and then you buy something else with it when you get it back or whatever. A lot of those things. And then the loyalty programs. Some of the things that I use would be like a Super America card, for gas. Also at Quick Trip, a lot of the milk, and we'll run to Quick Trip for milk or ice cream, or I did that twice the other day. One, had to go get milk and then had to go back and get ice cream. But again, it was the punch card, so after 10 or whatever, you get a certain amount of it. Yeah. So that's kind of one of the things that people can kind of get you to keep coming back, with those.
Okay. Now, with all of these, what do you think are some of the benefits and drawbacks of these? I know I talked a little bit about the rebates, how for customers they're not as likely to use them because they have to wait to get their money.
Right.
But do you see any other ones that would be more benefits or drawbacks?
I think probably I'll hit the drawbacks first. Is I think that is convenience. It's going to take you a while to fill out that rebate, or
Yeah.
you got to cut the coupon out of an ad in a
Sure.
newspaper or magazine, and then you got to remember to take it with you. Those are kind of it's the convenience factor of a lot of the coupons, and just remembering, that's, from the consumer standpoint, that's probably, the companies know it, that people are going to forget, and,
Yep.
oh, I forgot about that deal, I forgot about that coupon, and so, also some of the drawbacks are having to have staff process it.
Sure.
If it's couponing, you got to, I think they give a certain percentage to the grocery store, and how do you track it, and, whatever it might be, so there's those drawbacks as well, but, the biggest thing is getting people, the biggest advantage is getting people to use the product, getting them to try it the first time, getting that new customer. That's probably the biggest benefit of these techniques. Sampling, if I didn't know what Angie's kettle corn was and it was on the shelf, I probably wouldn't buy a bag just to buy it. Usually it's that sample, once you have that, and then you hit that customer, and wow, it's good, and it's just addicting. You're gonna want to keep eating it again, and that's what a lot of these are trying to get you to do, is try it, like it, repeat, buy.
And one of the things that I thought of, what they've done really well, I think, because everything has become so mobile and everything, I check my email probably about 20 times a day, where they'll just start emailing coupons or having online coupons. What's nice is you can take your phone in and you don't have to cut out any coupons. So I think they've become a little bit smarter on how they do it, because they're not wasting as much paper, and it's not getting wasted, and I think people are more likely to use those and just bring in their phone for the coupon.
And going on more on that, the level, I mean, who would have ever thought that an online company like Groupon,
Right.
would
I
be
have their emails,
public,
so,
and I mean, there's how big that company has gotten. It's coupons just being sent to your inbox, and so people are in the tough economy times, they're looking for the rebates and discounts. So it's an interesting area. And also the other part I just wanted to really kind of mention too is the scanning. You talk about your phone.
The QVC codes.
Yep, and you can do price checks, or it pops up the website right away, and and those types of things are
really
again,
clever advertising.
So it's a whole new different realm of sales promotion.
Yeah. So the last one that we're going to talk about on the types of sale promotion is trade-oriented, which is more towards the companies. They don't help the consumers as much as they are trying to help themselves, bring in revenue and everything. It also helps build their brand. They use certain different ways to advertise, and different ways to save monies as far as advertising, sharing different types of costs with other businesses as well to kind of cut down. Some of the techniques are a little bit the same. They'll use contests as well, and incentives. They'll use trade allowances. There's a couple different kinds of those, which you'll talk about a little bit later. They'll also use their displays and point of purchase displays in stores to kind of get people. They'll use sales training programs to train their employees so that they're knowledgeable of all the products. Trade shows to really get their name out and their brand and their products, and then cooperative advertising. So what do you think is the most common technique for trade oriented?
You're looking at that, it's probably going to be along the discount and the deal. The most common is the trade allowances. Companies are always looking for those price breaks, and that's probably for the most part, I think companies are going to go that route.
Okay.
But there's other aspects, like you talked about, the displays and the in sales training, and there's actually trips that they'll take you on, or they'll send you to the trade shows and stuff like that. That they're all beneficial in their own ways. And so as you look at the different kinds that are in there, the buying and the promotional and the slotting.
Okay.
Those are all aspects
Okay.
of the trade. And so when I mentioned buying, okay, that's basically that deal or the discount to the resellers, okay, and it's basically right off the invoice, okay. So here's the price off.
Okay. So encourages.
Valuable in order to get that that space in there, and we'll talk about slotting here a little bit with the new people, but it's so important that companies need to offer that discount to, especially on some new ones, and usually in that sense it's over a period of time.
Okay.
I look at especially the big ticket items, distributors. You've got the distributors, the wholesalers. In working with distributors, they need to make money too.
Sure.
Okay, and how are they making that money? Okay, they're that middle person, and even going into the retailers, they need to make money. So you've got to continually give them price breaks.
Sure.
And they're doing you a service by reaching the customer in a more convenient fashion.
Okay.
And so that's a big part of it. You're looking at the promotional aspects, and I can't remember. Did you want me to talk about that, or were you? Am I talking about all these? Or?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so.
Okay, all right. I was kind of looking at these, and I started some, but the buying part is the one.
Sure.
But promotional, the displays, okay, and special displays outside of the regular ad part, and shelf positions, running, in-store promotions programs. Even going back, and we kind of talked about the cooperative advertising. When we were in business, we did a deal with the mall, and
Sure.
sometimes the mall would advertise the different stores, and then they would put our ad into their ad, or you might see a Target ad advertising a special deal on M&Ms or a certain brand of shirts. So there's a lot of this cross promotional stuff that is going on as well, and the biggest thing, try to get people into those stores. How are we going to get them in indoor in-store displays is a big part of that.
Okay.
Looking at convenience stores. I don't know how much you've seen the Pop, especially Pop. Okay, they want you to walk into a store, see their product, and buy it. You don't want to be five rows
Sure.
down in coolers and have to come in, turn, and go get that certain brand.
Yep.
Okay, so even things in store offering incentives. Okay, you're going to pay more here. Okay, and that's when we start getting into the slotting aspects. Okay. And so a lot of times retailers will charge more, especially for a new product. Okay, we're going to give up some of our shelf space, but you're going to pay for it, and so so the retailers are getting money from the companies, for that, or and vice versa. We'll give you a better deal on the product, so the more you sell, the more you're going to make. And so that term of slotting it's basically accommodating that new product into a market.
Okay.
Some other ones I can think of, point of purchase materials. Was at Menards, used some rebates the other day, but you brought home the bag, and in the bag there's a flyer for
Sure.
DirecTV. Okay, or flyers right at the point of purchase, or that's why a lot of times you see a lot of little convenience things, right there.
Packs of gum or anything.
But all of those things, co-op advertising, the trade shows, point of purchase, I think are probably for the smaller items are more important. Trade shows, I think, are very, very effective when it comes to dealers, and if you're trying to get them to carry a new line of lawnmowers or those types of, you go to the trade shows, you learn about them, you kind of wine and dine them a little bit at those places, and they're able to connect with the retailers, so I think thinking business to business, that's what this is all about, and not necessarily reaching the customer, but businesses have to deal with businesses as well to lower their costs so they can make a profit. It's all about money, but it's about managing it too. Okay, you can't go bankrupt, go into that just by giving promotional sales. You can sell everything, but if you're not making a profit on it, it's not going to you're not going to be in business very long.
Now, kind of going off more towards the employees in the business, personally, we have something called spiff payments, or they also call it push money. So that's actually geared towards us employees. So if we do something above and beyond or
Yeah.
sell something that we don't normally sell, once a month we'll get these spiff payments of like 20, 25 extra bucks. But they do kind of the business allows that kind of money to go towards the employees because it gives them an incentive to
Yep.
do better and to be more knowledgeable
Right.
about all the products,
Yeah.
which gets the customers in. We have monthly contests between all of the other stores too, so they really try to encourage us
Right.
to do well,
Yeah.
which gives them sales. So.
Yeah, small is from $25 all the way up to, Caribbean trips or,
Yep,
all those,
absolutely.
and I've known a lot of people that have, they're taking a vacation. Yeah, I hit my sales goal, or, and the company's sending me, here as a thank you or whatever. And it's all part of the process. And
Yep.
that's a very good point of bringing that up. You got to take care of the workers as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Because without them, you're not really going to have your
Yeah.
business, and you're not going to get customers in.
Yeah, and commissions a lot of times isn't always just the best way, and a lot of
It's
times,
nice.
Yep, it's nice
We do
to have
get
a good
commission,
commission,
but, yep.
but that also costs more money to the company because
Right.
they're paying extra taxes on those, and and payroll, within the payroll taxes and stuff like that. Whereas maybe you strike a deal with a travel agency and get a good deal on a trip and send someone on a trip, and
Sure.
so some of that helps as well. So yeah, so all of this, the whole sales promotion, there's lots of aspects to it. It's out there, it's growing, and it's take Groupon for example. It's not going away anytime soon.
Right.
People are really into those aspects to make the most out of their dollar.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.